Next up, we do have Team RB versus War, and kind of a interesting matchup to kind of look at in a kind of a backwards perspective, just because Team RB right now looking very, very strong, definitely a top contender, but War sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard right now.
It's one of those words we use to describe a lot of matchups is interesting.
But if you look at their roster, as in your bottom left-hand corner of the screen, up in the top lane, you have JWoww, then you have Dan in the jungle, Larson, a UK player in the mid lane, you have Woolite, the AD carry, and then you have ADD in the bottom lane for support.
We do as well. So the main
you look on the side of Team RB right now, you have the Korean duo up in the top lane in jungle, Thal and Mujin, then Magic Felix in the mid lane, Sidrian, and then we do have the roster rounding out with Kissing in the bottom lane as well. We do. We're in pick a ban right now. Wind and Rain over on the blue side, Team RB over on the red. Already we have a Jace, LeBlanc, Kalista ban coming from War, and we do have an Elise and a Zac ban, quite common for the red side to ban that away. It will be a Braum lock-in for Wind and Rain. Now they only need to split their top lane, so that is going to be a Swain. Although that can flex towards the mid. We've seen Galio 100% picked in the mid lane rather than the top carry that he normally or could seem to be. So we'll see where that Swain does end up going. So that's, again, two massive picks here for Wind and Rain. Let's touch on the top lane really quickly. So we've got a Swain coming up against the Gangplank. Swain takes a lot of time to scale up, so does the GP.
They do indeed. It's kind of more getting the first couple of items coming through for the Swain. You go towards the Rod of Ages, for example, and once that starts scaling up, you can stay alive pretty much permanently post level 6. Because of course, for every mana expenditure you use, you heal off the back of that as well.
Mid lane's going to be in trouble, but Larson, at least being on that Galio, has a little bit of something in his belt. Woolite going fairly low in the bottom lane, Kissing. Going fairly aggressive here. Here comes the Gangplank. Oh, Woolite actually flashing away. Uses the leap as well. Ignite was on him, so that's going to be one big summoner spell down for Kissing, but trading it for two Woolites, that's more than a good trade.
Flash. You can find yourself in a world of hurt. Now that's down, they've got so much pressure in this bot lane. You know, if this tower, or if it doesn't go down, but no one's really around to contest this, Dan, this is the issue here. He's already on 40% HP. If he goes in for a fight here, he's going to find himself in a very, very tough spot.
Yeah, he just can't engage. That's going to be first turret already going down at 8 minutes into the game.
So for him, this is more Thal saying, you know, I want the gold from this cull. I want to get closer to that Trinity Force than, you know, than maybe I would be expected to. Otherwise, get myself towards the Ghostblade, and suddenly I can start making a much bigger impact in the mid game and really accelerate
away
to the
Dan.
win.
Actually, kick flash from Mujin. It's not going to happen, but it doesn't matter at all. Magic Felix comes up with the kill with the scan of the week. Unleashed power wasn't even needed. Mujin messing up the flash kick, but hey, didn't matter whatsoever. Larson couldn't come in for the ultimate either to save his jungler. Just going on how the lane's been playing out thus far. 152 to 140 is getting forced in underneath this turret now.
Might find themselves losing this tower. Just forgoing the Drake for now, focusing on getting all these outer towers down so they can start pushing Wind and Rain further back in towards their own base. Kind of thinking on it as well with the Gangplank. Here's an engage though, straight away.
Charm onto Woolite, Ignite as well. There comes the Thal ultimate. Missile barrage, that barrage of cannon. Mujin jumps underneath the turret, is going to get taken out by AOD. AOD flashing as well, away from Magic Felix. Thal will find himself across a map kill.
Not having the softest introduction to this series as we expected.
The thing we've alluded to beforehand, as we just see actual charm and a knock-up landing on to JWoww. Here comes the Galio, Mujin in a lot of trouble here. Battle dance to keep him alive. Here comes AOD from the bottom lane, from the top lane, even from the mid lane. I correct myself third time. Kissing, grand entrance away. War still trying to get this chase on. Woolite rotating a little bit too late. Dan's going to come through as well. Stone plate, which would be very, very good into the RB composition. Getting amongst all of them is what he needs to be able to do. Actually opting for that Randuin's for the slow.
We've seen that quite a few times, to be fair, where teams will just try and get away with that. They'll go for one of two builds, but this Baron being done now is absolutely unknown by Wind and Rain. As we said, RB are thinking, right, we can make more pressure with this Baron. Let's take it early on to no contest. As soon as Dan gets too close, Magic Felix will be there, more than willing to just burst him out.
Well, that's exactly what you said a couple of minutes ago. RB need to accelerate their lead, and that's exactly what they're doing. War have no idea this is going on. They'll definitely know now. Thal is going to be able to push down that inhibitor turret. Thal is also just hammering away at that inhibitor. JWoww actually blowing the teleport and flash, tried to get a sneaky flank off a minute ago. Kissing maybe looking for something here, just flash in, gets the knock up on AOD, doesn't quite land the shockwave, but it's not going to matter. Woolite picks up one kill, Will Larson end up falling. Too tanky right now. Woolite, his late game has been turned on, but so's has RB's. They're just knocking on the Nexus turrets now. One is going to fall, here comes the next one, possibly. Mujin going in, dips back out again. JWoww in a lot of trouble, does use the Zonyas. That healing is going to get reduced by Thal, gets deleted by Magic Felix. Mujin's just going to be able to force these kills, force the fights. AOD has been tagged. Sonic Wave is available. Can he go in? Still has the kick. There's just too much damage on the side of Red Bulls right now. They might just look for the win here, Des.
They still want to go for it, but Larson is still sat on this flash. I don't think I've seen him use it once this game so far to go for these plays. It's kind of a do I, don't I, and it's always going to be a don't I. 26 minutes in the game, we said that RB needed to close this out before Walleye got online, and they are doing that just now.
Well, only 2 items in the bank. The Zeal, extra Zeal, will it help him? I'm not sure it will. There goes one turret, the second one falls. Cannon Barrage almost finishing off Dan, but Red Bull's hammering on that Nexus, hammering at home and making it a 1-0 in favor of RB right now.